welcome to the February 2016 episode of NA Inside Out. In today's episode, we will meet some new people and learn more about what makes our district special. The North Allegheny budget is both large and complicated. Mitch Sarver and Seth Mancuso look into this important topic.
Welcome to an NATV news broadcast. Today we will take a look at the budget of North Allegheny. I have emailed Mr. Mike Hopkins and I asked him 6 questions about the budget of North Allegheny. The first question I asked him was what determines the total assessed value of North Allegheny? He replies, the total assessed value is determined by Allegheny County. It is based on the tax blotter that each district receives in January. The blotter consists of all property in the North Allegheny School District. These properties also include new construction and land that has been purchased for future construction. The second question I asked was about the whole budget for next year and what it is supposed to be used for. He says the fund balance is basically a savings account. It can be used for several things. An allocation can be made up to help balance a budget. It can be designed for specific expenditures, i.e. technology, renovations, etc. It also serves as a financial metric when rating agencies. The third question I asked is there a limit on the total amount of money the district can spend on instruction, which is the teachers' salaries and other expenditures for salaries? And he says there is no limit on the amount of funds allocated for instruction. However, the budget in total must be reviewed. There are many fixed costs that the district has to fund each year. These items would include salaries, benefits, debt service payments. We also need to find funds for technology, transportation, facilities, etc. The fourth question I asked is what specifically would determine an increase for a budget for each fiscal year? And he replies, contractual salaries, increasing pension costs, higher healthcare costs, all contribute to higher expenditures each year. The next question I asked is what is being done to pay off the debt of North Allegheny and when is it expected to be paid off? Mr. Hopkins replies, debt service payments are made twice a year for principal and interest. The district employs a wraparound debt structure that allows for the most part equal debt service payments year after year. Each debt insurance has its own maturity schedule. The district issued bonds in 2015 for renovations at Bradford Woods and the Marshall campus. The issue of these bonds will mature in the year 2033. Finally, I asked him how much money is put into the buses and transportation system each year. And to my surprise, he replies, each year that dollar amount fluctuates depending on what the year's needs. We try to lease buses each year so we don't have to face a bubble of older vehicles in one particular year and the need for a large payment. Our lease rates average approximately $150,000 to $200,000 a year. A total budget for transportation services is approximately $4.5 million, which includes salaries. Thank you, Mr. Hopkins, and this concludes our news broadcast.
This past fall, the North Allegheny School District recognized our diversity with the celebration of Us at Ingomar Middle School. Beck Hale and Kyle Songer explore this exciting new celebration.
Hi, Mr. Bishop. How are you?
Fine. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing fantastic. So, Mr. Bishop, what's the celebration of Us? I believe it happened about a month ago or so. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. The celebration of Us is a collaboration between the Diversity Committee of North Allegheny, which is named in honor of Marsha Martin, one of our former principals. And it was basically an effort between the school and leaders in the school, teachers and administrators, and people in the community to come together and to highlight all of the diverse groups of people and the cultures and things that exist in North Allegheny.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. And what kind of a role do you think it played on the community as far as, you know, affecting those who participated and those who came and everyone that went into making it happen?
I think it sent a very profound and clear message that North Allegheny is truly embracing our diversity, and we are trying our best. The committee works to try to, number one, document and all of the things that we're doing in the district to highlight diversity and to teach about diversity, but then also to develop things that can encourage people to embrace diversity, and activities like the Celebration of Us. We come together, we bring all of our gifts and our talents from across the district and across the community to do things that help encourage diversity.
All right, awesome. All right, Mr. Bishop, last question. Can you tell us about your role that you play in the Culture of Us?
Sure. With the Celebration of Us, I help with a lot of ideas and things that we could do to advertise it and things that we had to offer here at Nash. And I also came up with a name, actually. We were at the table discussing potential names for it, and I actually came up with the idea for a Celebration of Us to call it that. So it was a pretty big contribution.
Wow, that is fantastic. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Bishop.
Every year, the Nash Spring Musical is a vibrant part of the NA calendar. This year, the musical is Cinderella. Jason Earle, Olivia Gill, Alex Gill, Austin Kurtanich, and Chip Doherty tell us more about the show.
My name is Jason Earle. I'm playing Lord Pinkleton, and I think you should see the musical because it's a really excellent cast, and Cinderella has been completely transformed, and it's a really great new show.
Hi, I'm John Newbar, and I'm playing Topher. You should come see Cinderella because it's a really fun time.
Hi, my name is Samantha Lucas, and I'm going to be playing the part of Cinderella. You guys should really come see the musical because it's fun and there's so much energy on stage, and it's going to be a great show.
The Spring Musical has been an impressive long-standing tradition here at North Allegheny. From old classics such as Les Miserables to new comedies such as Shrek the Musical, the show is always entertaining for the crowd. This year, a new directing team puts on Cinderella. We talked to some of the members of the production to see how it's going.
Hi, I'm Trent Soyster, and I'm playing Jean-Michel and one of the dance captains in this year's musical Cinderella.
I'm going to be playing the role of Cinderella.
And I will be playing Prince Topher.
I am Lord Pinkleton. I'm kind of the town crier.
What excites me about Cinderella, I think, is just going to be seeing all the little girls in the audience excited to see Cinderella. And it's definitely a twist on the original fairy tale. It's not going to be like the Disney movie that you've seen 100 times. It's a new version with new characters and new plot twists and new songs, and it's really kind of a different experience than I think that a lot of people will expect. I get to dance with the prettiest girl in the school.
Aww. I think the set's going to be awesome. We're going to have trees that are as tall as the stage, which is really cool. And then
She doesn't get to dance with the best looking guy.
of course I get to dance with the best looking guy in the school as well. But also the costume changes, most of them are happening on stage. So whenever Cinderella gets her ball gown, she doesn't have to go off stage. It's going to all be very magical and happen on stage. And that happens twice in the show. And I'm just really excited to work with a great cast and creative team.
I'm probably most excited about just finishing off high school. All of the leads are seniors. It'll be a great way for us to go out. It's really a talented cast from top to bottom, so It should be a great show, and I think everybody's excited for it.
Well, so in the first act, there's a big scene in the town square where all the townspeople are dancing, and Jean Michel is kind of like a revolutionary. So he's trying to change the ways of the kingdom, and he's trying to change the way that the prince runs the kingdom. But little does he know that Sebastian is really the person behind all the rules. So my song, Now is the Time, is him basically trying to get everyone to riot against the corrupt government in the kingdom.
I don't really have a favorite song, but there's different things that I like in each of my songs.
I don't know, I like all the songs I sing. I especially like the ones I sing with Sam, because she's great.
Well, the number that kind of highlights my part is the prince is giving a ball, and now is the time. It's me and Jean-Michel. He's trying to win over the people and start a rebellion, while I'm just trying to tell everyone that the prince is giving a ball, and it's kind of a fight for superiority.
She takes the slipper. Well, I think Cinderella is going to be different than musicals from previous years because my freshman year we did a rock show, Footloose, and then Shrek was very character heavy. Last year, 42nd Street was very dance heavy, and this year it's like a fairy tale. So you're going to enter this kingdom with all these different, with a princess and her evil stepmother and her stepsisters and all these new characters that are crazy and wacky. So it's definitely going to be a totally different show in general.
Directing the musical is different than directing the fall play. In directing the fall play, I work with Mrs. Harrell and we handle every facet of production. With regard to the musical, I'm part of a directing team. Mr. Tozier is the head, he's the artistic director. He handles all the contracts and all of the organization and a lot of the creative backstage planning that goes on. My job is to simply stage the show and make it look good on stage with what the rest of the team has come up with. Mr. Sebley is the technical director, Mrs. Weidman is doing costumes, the vocal directors, the choreographers, so we work as a creative team. So it's a lot different. Instead of being one of two people that has a vision, I'm one of a whole horde of probably 9 teachers working on creating the vision of Cinderella. The rehearsal process thus far has been fantastic. The kids in the school are incredibly talented and driven, and whenever we ask them for anything, it's immediately done. I asked them to write some back histories, and I got pages upon pages and volumes upon volumes of histories of their lives as characters that were all interwoven and creative, and we had this great discussion about characterization. The kids are excited and ready to roll every time they come to rehearsal. It's really easy to direct kids that want to be on stage and that have a lot of talent. And top to bottom, the cast is talented. The kids that earned the leads, that landed the leads, are phenomenal and, you know, super easy to guide. I mean, they're really open towards change. And even the chorus sounds wonderful because there's so many kids. You know, this is NA. There's a lot of kids with a lot of ability, and it's just, you know, they sound fantastic when they sing. So, not difficult. We looked for something fun that would be family friendly, that would be good for our kids to do, challenging. The script is incredibly challenging because it has been rewritten from the original and it's added a lot more banter. There's an extra character, Jean Michel, who is brings in a political element to the play. There is also a twist that I can't give away with regarding one of the stepsisters and Cinderella herself. The show is a lot more contemporary than it was. So we picked that show because it fit our kids and who we had auditioned best. We had a couple shows in mind, but that's the one that fit the best. And it's incredibly challenging technically because there are no scene changes. The show doesn't stop. There are no blackouts from the beginning. Once the lights come up, The lights don't go down until the end of Act 1, and then they come back up at the start of Act 2 and don't go down until the end of the show.
Oh, geez.
All scene changes occur behind and simultaneously with the end of numbers. So it's going to be really cool.
Well, we're certainly excited to see the final product of Cinderella, and we wish all the members of the production the best of luck. For NATV, I'm Jason Earl.
Teenagers are famous for their lack of sleep. Ali Dudek and Anna Katzis take a look at how sleep deprivation affects the students of Nash.
Not a lot.
About 4 hours.
In the nighttime only, like 4 hours.
Around 4 to 7 hours.
I get about 4 to 5 hours of sleep if I'm lucky.
Yeah, because a lot of other students don't get as much as I do.
No, I really wish that I could get more sleep.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not really important. Pretty important. It's probably my most favorite activity.
Like I want to say it is. My grandparents say it is, but I don't think it is.
Sleep is extremely important to me. It's probably one of the most important parts of my day. I definitely think that the amount of sleep you get affects school, especially if you're tired during the day and you want to sleep instead of pay attention in class. Yeah.
Yeah, because the more awake I am, the better I do in school, I feel.
I'm a failure in school, and I could probably not be if I got like 13 hours of sleep.
Probably. That's what caffeine's for. Go to bed earlier. Going to bed earlier and being more responsible rather than just messing around. I don't know.
Taking more naps.
Going to bed earlier, but it's not really an option, especially if I have a lot of homework or if I'm on my computer.
Probably turning off my computer and just cutting off all connections to electronics.
The NA rowing team has a strong history. Bobby Hitson and Billy Wagner bring us this look inside this tight-knit team.
Hello, my name is Bobby Hitson, and welcome to my news piece for NA Inside Out. Today we will be covering the always entertaining NA rowing team and the events that have taken so far leading up to the what is now the winter season. So just sit back and enjoy, and we'll get to it. After a tragic start to the 2015 season, the NA rowing team absolutely bounced back and overcame all adversity facing them. After successful wins at pretty much all of their races, the team grew stronger after facing the struggles early on in the year and came together to overcome the struggles that faced them. New boat lineups emerged that would cement their place in NA rowing history, as well as events such as a giant barge ruining a race for everyone involved and piling into cars to get mows. This is Bobby Hitson reporting. So there you have it. Everything you need to know about the North Allegheny rowing team leading into the spring season. Should be pretty eventful, and we'll have to check on them later on this year. I'm Bobby Hitson on behalf of NATV, signing off.
That's it for this episode of NA Inside Out. Join us in the spring for many more stories about the NA School District and the people that make it such a great place to be a Tiger.